Hi everyone, it's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, click the little blue button. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, and click the bell icon to be notified. Okay guys, we're making a jewelry stand today, or upcycling an old jewelry stand. So I found this piece in my stash of supplies and pieces that need to get worked on. I bought it at some point, and the base for it was cracked in half, and it was a circular base that just spun, so this was not even steady. I did actually manage to get the screw. It was rusted flathead screw. It was unrecoverable, but I managed to get it out of there. Drilled it out of there, which is not fun. And you can tell somebody had tried to glue it at one point because it was just probably spinning, but obviously I don't love it. I don't love it like it is. We need a new base for it. It's very dark. I don't like the very dark. So it's going to get a paint job, a makeover, a glow up, or whatever we want to call it. And I want to make it extremely girly because for me, this feels very masculine in the dark. And I want to make it very feminine and pretty and, you know, pinks, and we're going to make it pink. Like a hot pink, maybe. I got pink. Ooh, rose gold. Ooh, rose gold. For a base. So I found this. So I bought this for 50 cents at a thrift store. It's a factory irregular. It was 99 cents when the original person bought it. You can tell by the fact that they drilled holes in it that it was supposed to be some kind of sign or some kind of hanging thing. It's not going to be a hanging thing. We're going to fill those holes. First things first. And then we're going to mount this to this, which should be after I get it sanded. It's not level. It's all the glue. We're going to have to sand it level because right now when I do this, it's not holding on there. So that's got to be sanded down. We're going to re-glue it. We will screw it up from the bottom, which will be a challenge. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is an irregular. So they cut this corner weird. You see it? It's a weird cut. These are rounded. I have two of them. Okay, this one's less weird. We're going to use the less weird one. We'll use the less weird. Less sanding mommy's got to do here. Mommy don't want to glue it. I don't want to sand it. So we're going to have to find the center of that. We're going to have to drill through it so that we know where to screw up from the bottom to get to the middle of this. But I think I'm going to have to fill this as well. Just because right now, I mean, in all honesty, that was spinning like crazy. Just spinning, spinning, spinning. So I don't think there's anything that a screw is going to hold on to in there. So if we fill it, we sand this down, we re-glue it, we re-screw it, we know that this is going to hold on for the next person. I don't love these little metal hooks that are on it, but it's what I have. Can I get these out? Do I need to? No, you don't need to get them up. They're just fine. They work. I'm not going to love sanding around them because your sandpaper will keep getting stuck on it and you're trying to get in around it. And it's just it's just a pain. It's a pain in the butt. It's a little extra time that I don't really want to take on stuff. I want to move things through, move it through, move it through, move it through, get it done. So first things first, though, we need to fill some holes. I need to fill the holes in this. Fill that hole, and then we're going to start sanding. We're going to sand the crap out of it. Okay, to fill this, I'm using a toothpick. That should, you know, I maybe take two, actually. Bend it in half, break it in half. See if it takes two. Yeah, this would be two. Two. Wood glue. You know what else works great? And I'm out of them. And the next time I go to Dollar Tree, I'll be getting more. The bamboo skewers from Dollar Tree work phenomenal for this. Bamboo is a very good wood filler for projects like this. But doing this, I'm going to put wood glue in there and then break these off. It gives the screw something new to bite into. I could use my 2-part epoxy resin. So my wood filler, JB Weld makes it. I really love it. I'm out and I'm using what I have right now. Remember, like I keep saying this in every video, we're going to use what we have. So in a pinch, don't run to the hardware store, just grab a toothpick or a bamboo skewer or some other small piece of wood that will fit down in there. And then you're going to take wood glue, put it in there and put the wood in there and then break it off. And then I'll sand it down flat. That way, when the screw goes in there, there's new wood for it to bite into. It's age old. I'm not inventing the wheel here. This is what's been handed down generation to generation. I heard somebody say use a golf tee. And I went, A, that's a pretty wide hole if you got to put a golf tee in it. And B, golf tees are hardwood. Like, you can't break that off. You got to saw that. You could use something like this, a dowel, if it's the right size. My dowels are too big. Like I said, that bamboo skewer would have worked perfect. I used to keep, I had a whole bag in here. They were on the board, and I think I've used them all up finally. Anyway, they're a little thicker than this, and they work great. But I've got my wood glue. It's just plain wood glue, guys. Plain Jane wood glue. And my glue bot. I do have a store, an Amazon store of my favorite products. I don't get paid to do this as far as nobody's sponsoring me. Gluebot's not sponsoring me. Dollar Tree's not sponsoring me. No one's sponsoring me. So when I tell you that I like this product, it's because I like this product. So if you go to my Amazon storefront and you shop from my Amazon storefront, I'm always happy. So I fill that with glue. And now I'm going to just take this, and actually I'm going to use a hammer. And just tap them down in there and just make sure they're as far down in as possible, because that was a pretty deep screw hole. Yeah, that's a lot further than I would have pushed it with my finger. A lot deeper than I would have pushed that with my finger. That was in there. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm kind of shocked. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And then all we need to do is break that off. You can saw it, you can sand it, you can break it. However you need to get this flat. We're going to make this flat again. Probably just sand it off because I got to sand all that excess glue. I might as well get my glue off while I'm thinking about it. But there you go. It's just new wood in there. Now for the base with these 2 little holes, I'm just going to use a spackle because this is not functional. It's not going to be holding anything in place. It doesn't have to be heavy duty. You could use wood filler, but I don't want to mix any up, and I'm out of like wood filler. So I am just going to use spackle. Dridex, just plain old spackle. That pink stuff. For those of you who have never used Dridex before, this is like a wall spackle. This is what you use to fill the holes in your apartment or your house before you sell it, and you know, hung pictures and all that stuff. Once this pink spackle turns white, it's dry. Doesn't take long. But I am going to just put some in the holes here. You just punch it down in there and you can see it's still not flat. And then I just put a little excess on the top because we'll end up having to sand this whole thing anyway. So we'll sand it flat later. And then I'm going to do the ones on the back. Same thing. I just press it down in there. then I leave a heaping amount on top because it does shrink when it dries, by the way. I don't really care if it says it doesn't shrink. It totally does. It doesn't shrink. Yes, it does. Come at me. Dare ya. It shrinks. That's why I always use extra, little excess. I do that because otherwise I'm going to go back to it later and there's going to be an indent and I'm going to have to refill it and waste more time and I'm going to be annoyed. I mean, is it at the end of the world? Nope. But it will annoy me. So now everything's drying. We're in a waiting game again. My least favorite part of the day. Hurry up and wait. So let's wait for these to dry. Won't take but a second. All right, so I went ahead and I sanded the bottom of that and I sanded this off and I've marked the center of this. So to find the center of a rectangle or a square, you just, I'll show you. Take a straight edge and you go from corner to corner and find the line. You can see I actually did this one in red. Normally I do this in pencil. I did it in red so you guys could see it. And then you go from that corner to that corner, and where the two meet in the middle is the middle. And we're going to drill a hole through this. I'm going to drill because it's going to be next to impossible to figure out where to drill the screw up to adhere this to the base. Like, I could eyeball it, but that doesn't mean the screw is going to go in the right place on here. And this way we've got, you know, a pilot hole drilled, and then we're all good. Just put that on top. Just trust me, just pre-drill the hole. All right, if you guys are using a nice work surface, you should do like put a piece of wood underneath it, but I am not. I'm gonna put my drill bit right in the center. So it goes all the way through. And I sanded all the bits down and I sanded the adhesive off, which is probably not the best way to go, but that label was not coming off there. So that's how we had to do it. This is going to be our top. This is going to be our bottom. Now, we are going to do a countersink. We are going to have to put a screw head in there. And for those of you who are like, I don't have the right bit for that. Yes, they do make counter set bits. So you want to put a little bit of room in there for the screw head to sit in because we want this to sit flat on a surface. But let's say you don't have a countersink bit. We're just going to take a regular bit, just really large, and we're going to stick that right down on the same hole. And we're not going to go very far. So that is enough to countersink a screw. Let me get this cleaned out so you can see what I'm talking about. 1 second. All right, let's scoop all that little dust out of there. Get out of there. All right. So you can see where the little hole is in there, and then this should be just enough because we're not going to need a screw that's bigger than that for the screw. I can't talk, y'all. The screw head to go down into there so that this can sit flat on a surface. Because remember, this is a jewelry stand that we're making, so this needs to sit flat, and I don't want to add feet to it. So we're going to countersink our screw right there. So there was no need to buy any fancy new drill bits to countersink that, none of that stuff. And this should sit perfectly flat now that I've sanded it down, and it looks like it does, which, I mean, this is not going to help you guys. You can see it's, I think that'll be a nice base. I'm debating if I put ring holders on here. So these are perfect for bracelets and necklaces, but I'm thinking if I put a couple little posts down here you'll have a place to put rings. Let me think about it. In the meantime, this needs to be sanded. We need to break through the surface, the clear coat on this, so that we have, our paint has something to bite into, and we're going to give this a good paint job. I decided to go with a super duper long one. I think this is 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. But before I do, I'm going to hit it with some Loctite Power Grab to make sure that this stays put this time. A little construction adhesive, never hurt anyone. Alright. We're going to start this so that it comes through the other side. So we know where this needs to sit. Okay. I'm just twisting it. I'm holding the screw in the bottom and twisting it down. Now, all right, so we've got that down on the base. Okay, guys, so I had a doweling jig kit that had these in them. I'm fortunate in that I have a brother-in-law who buys me nice tools, and he bought me a doweling jig that came with all of this, including the collar. So this tells you where you put it on here, onto your drill bit, so you know when to stop drilling into the wood. If you don't have a collar like this, you can put a piece of tape over your drill bit and stop when you get to the tape. So you don't actually have to have it, but since I have it and I'm fortunate, I should use the tools that my brother-in-law gave me. He's a very nice brother-in-law. He buys me nice tools. He's not just nice because he buys me tools, though. He's just a nice brother-in-law. That's good. Okay, so we put the collar on the bit. And that tells us when we can stop drilling. And I'm going to put one, I think, in each corner. This would have ideally been done before I put this centerpiece up, but I didn't. So here we are. Okay. So is it going to be completely straight? No. Maybe I'd be better off here. Nope. Either way, I'm kind of hosed. So my instinct was to put them near the front. Let's do that. Cool. All right, we're gonna get some wood glue in there. Bugger. Hammer. I have a lot of excess glue. Alrighty. Now we're gonna let that dry. So you can see I've added the 2 spikes. They'll be perfect for, well, come on. That was gonna be such a cool thing. Here's a ring. Holding a ring in place so that it doesn't fall off, doesn't slide around, you don't lose your ring. I like having ring holders, so it's perfect. Okay, it's time to paint. And y'all, I am making chili for dinner. It's smelling bomb out there. Oh, so good. Ooh, we're gonna do it in metallic pink. I'm so excited. Feels like forever since I did projects, you guys. I'm just so happy to be back in the workshop and just working on stuff. You know, see, look, it doesn't shrink. It even shrank. It shrinks. Okay, the first coat is on and it looks so pretty. It's just so, it's sexy now, boy. It is definitely girly. It's just sophisticated and pretty. It's covering pretty good. It's a little streaky, so this would have been so much easier if, you know, I could have taken it out and spray painted it, but I couldn't, so we're here and it'll be great. I couldn't help it. I had to eat chili. It was really good. It's done. I didn't paint the bottom of it. It's still wet. Here. Look so nice. It's so not masculine now. I mean, it's definitely, the dark wood was skewing way masculine to me. And I'm like, we need to make it pretty. We need to make it pretty and feminine. And I think rose metallic definitely does the job. So it is done. And now we just have to wait for it to dry. But thanks for watching, you guys. Happy junkin'. Bye.
Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more junkin' videos.